Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me on my program. I appreciate you wherever you are connecting from. If you are joining me from any part of the world, I thank you very much for your contributions on this channel. Please kindly subscribe if you have not subscribed, and also click the notification bell so that you'll be notified each time I upload a video. You will be among the first to receive it. In this channel, I bring information to your doorstep. I bring news from all channels, from every angle. Things that have to do about the world, things that have to do about Africa, more especially Nigeria. I bring it to your doorstep. Some information that you ignore, some information that you cannot be able to come across, I look for them, I bring it to your doorstep for you to see. Every video you see on this channel is for educational purpose, to keep you up and get you aware of what is happening in the contraction called Nigeria, more especially. I bring the information to your doorstep. They are not lies. Most of the videos you're going to watch here are videos that are coming from the conventional media, and some of us sometimes are lazy to get into it. Some of us sometimes are too busy to be able to lay our hand on this. That is why I bring the videos to your doorstep. Watch from beginning to the end. Remember, these videos are for educational purposes, so that you can be educated and know what is going on. Let us watch together. At the end, you can go to the comment section and put down your comment. Give your opinion. Say it the way you feel it. Nobody's going to come against you. It's a free world, and this is the social media where people say it and set the record straight exactly the way it is without being controlled. Do that on the comment section. Let us watch the video together as it comes. Thank you.
A big way to open the show this morning. I'm torn between, because Rufai mentioned in this and Dr. Abati. Let me start with Dr.
No, it's teamship.
Team.
Let Rufai say you go.
Dr. Abati.
This is hate speech. You go first.
Really serious way to start off the news, and I think important points made. And Rufai, your name is, you're implicated in that. It'd be great to hear your thoughts on this morning.
So as a journalist, I never love to be part of the story, because we report the story. But in a time like this, when it's politics, you have to be part of the story. And you see, it's a record. I've got nothing against Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I love everybody equally, because it's my injunction as a Christian to love. I've got nothing against my Egbon, Bayo Onuga, and Mr. Dele Alaki. I love them as professionals in their own fields. But also, the kind of journalism I was taught. Anyway, they abuse me all the time that I'm not a journalist. But I've spent quite so many years in this business. Yeah, I might not look it, but I've done well over 16, going to 17 years. In Lagos alone, I've put in close to 10 years on radio before I came. So I didn't just drop from the skies. I know my stuff. I've worked with the best media brands all over the world. I've also mentored a lot of people in this business. But I think the stress here is objectivity. I will be objective in my coverage of every presidential candidate. And what you cannot fault me for is that I've been objective with all the presidential candidates. Part of the toughest interviews we had here has been with Peter Obi. And trust me, the kind of heat we give to Mr. Peter Obi when he's here, I'm not sure we've been able to interview other presidential candidates on this platform like that. And that's the level of objectivity. Because you see, they say all sorts about me. They do all sorts. But what I want them to know is that I love them, irrespective of the hatred that is being meted out at me. I'm a child of love. I was conceived in love. They even went further, and thank God Dr. Abati was there. They took a picture of Peter Obi and me and Jandor at my own father's day of tribute. They couldn't even allow my father rest in peace before they brought my father, my dear father, the love of my life, into politics while I was still grieving. And they labeled it a political gathering. But in all of this, I forgive them. You know what I'm just concerned about? I'm concerned about the future of this country. I want this country to do well because we have problems. Unemployment, underdevelopment. And you know why I also forgive them? Because all of this will not matter any longer after the 25th or after February, when the presidential election has been done. You see all these people that are antagonistic, they will now come together and say, how can we make this country better? They love Nigeria too, they are patriots. But it's just that they can't stand the objectivity because of where their interest tilts towards. And I don't have any problems with anybody having interests. but also let objective voice stand. And it's quite shocking to me, Ayo. It was just this morning, like I found out that they've been talking to my bosses at the back, and they wanted to remove me from Arise TV and take me out. When I hear that, I keep telling people my future, my career, my destiny is in God's hands. It's not in the hands of man. So with any manipulation, I love them. Last week, Mr. Byron Onuga mentioned my name. In an interview, mentioned Dr. Abati's name too. Said we were politically leaning. And all I just looked and said is, I have a lot of respect for him to do all of that and to say things that are not true about me. So with all of this hatred and this attack, all I can give is the love of God from my heart to all of them. And I hope when this passes, we'll be able to focus on the real substance, which is the development of this country with so much potential, but it's being crippled with personal interest. I love them all. I love Nigeria, and I love God.
Very well said. Thank you, Rufai. Dr. Bati.
Okay, well, two sides now. The statements by the Tinubu group, led by Mr. Dele Alake, who is Director of Media. Mr. Dele Alake, who is in charge of strategic communications, and Mr. Bayo Ononuga, who is in charge of media operations. Both of them haven't taken time out before now to accuse this day Arise Group of bias, prejudice, blackmail, including going further in statements, 4 statements in fact issued within the space of about 2 weeks. Direct attacks on this day Arise Media Group, and also on the person of the chairman of the group, Prince Nduka Obagbena. And then to the extent that in one press release, Mr. Ononuga even said that media personnel working for the Bola Ahmed Tinubu Presidential Campaign Council and the APC in general must not show up on this channel or relate in any way with the media. And now this morning we have a response published on the front page of this day newspaper, our sister publication, responding to those allegations. Well, the two sides of the story are out there. I stated that because people will say, let no man be a judge in his own cause. Nemo judas in causa sua. But there are certain basic principles that have been laid out in the statement by This Day and Arise Media Group that should be reiterated. And all of these are contained in that statement. 1, that an attack on the independent media is an attack on free speech. After all, it was Thomas Jefferson who told us that if you were to choose between a government without newspapers or newspapers without government, he would choose the latter. That is, recognizing the importance of the media to the stability of democracy and the regime of free speech. And if you look at the Nigerian Constitution, as This Day has always pointed out, under Section 22, the role of the media is recognized as a fourth estate of the realm, to hold government accountable, to hold persons who want to be in government accountable, to hold everybody in society accountable by raising questions. Section 39 of the 1999 Constitution deals with the right of persons to set up media, organs of free expression, and to not be intimidated on that account. So what we have seen, what the This Day Media Group is saying, is that the attempt by 2 key persons in the Bola Ahmed Tinubu to intimidate the media amounts 1 to censorship, amounts 2 to dictatorship, amounts 3 to bullying tactics, and within the purview of the principles properly spelled out in both Chapter 2 and Chapter 4 of the 1999 Constitution, this will amount to a violation of the right of citizens to be informed, to free speech, and the right of the media to play its constitutional role. 2, the irony here is that the 2 persons involved, they are in their own right media chieftains. Mr. Dele Alake started from radio, he rose to become editor of National Concord, he rose to become Director General of TVC, a television station that belongs to Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So in terms of his background, and he has also been Commissioner of Information, so you cannot say that he doesn't understand the issues involved, okay, as a top journalist in his own right. Mr. Ononuga, in fact, was the one who led the protests against any kind of intimidation by the Abacha government, when the Abacha government wanted to silence African Concord. He and others left the African Concord and later went on because they said they were not going to apologize to the Abacha junta. So this is a man also who has a background as somebody who defended the independence of the media. And he led a team that established The News magazine. He led the same team that started The Temple. He was involved actively in guerrilla journalism, defending the same sections of the Constitution that I pointed out. So he's also, a top figure in the Nigerian media. So that is why it is ironic that the two of them, with such distinguished background, in the media space, are the ones now trying to gag other journalists, calling other journalists names, intimidating, a media institution, just because they are working for a master. So that is what is most unfortunate about it. And I'm sure that there are many younger journalists who look up to both Mr. Ononuga and Mr. Dele Alake, who will be thoroughly disappointed. And this is the thing, about journalists. People wonder sometimes the kind of, politics that we play within the media. After all, the standard thing that is often said is that dogs don't eat dogs. They're just like when you give some dogs fat bones, they will forget that the other dog, is a member of the family, and they will want to eat that dog up. And they will even forget what the rules of engagement will seem to be. What is the third point? The third point here, as clearly stated in the This Day Arise Group statement, is that one, the media cannot be intimidated. Whatever your pedigree, whether you are a top journalist or you are working for a politician, you cannot frustrate the independent media. That's the main point there. And to restate the duties and responsibilities of the media, that nobody can dictate how any media house should function, as long as the issue at stake is free speech. And I think in that regard, the This Day Arise Media Group is perfectly in order. Now, certain other issues were addressed in this matter, in this statement. What could have led to it? The first was a certain report about a certain Akande who died, and all of that was linked to Bola Ahmed Tinubu's background when he was in Chicago. Okay, so if that was the issue, This Day is saying, Arise Group is saying, why didn't they counter with superior information if they have it? And the statement went on to say, we cannot afford to have a Noriega moment in Nigeria. Anybody who aspires to be president of Nigeria must come to equity with clean hands. When questions are raised, those questions must be responded to. And the resort to blackmail is undemocratic. Two, the statement raised the point that if this is an indication, if they are saying, their candidate cannot be criticized, their candidate cannot be asked questions, he cannot be invited to a town hall because he wants to organize his own, are they trying to suggest that should their candidate win, then the media will be suppressed? That will be a return to the era of military dictatorship. And it will be so unfortunate if that were to be the suggestion, considering the fact that all the spokesmen for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, they constantly remind us that this was a man who was part of the June 12 struggle, which is a fact. Okay, so because the same man wants to be president of Nigeria now, the same media, he wants to suppress the media. And again, another irony there. Many of these persons, they become stars, they become famous, because the media created them in the first place. Many of these people, you see, without the media, nobody will know them. And that is why I often say, look, the media also, the iconization process, the hero selection process that we go through, that we do on a daily basis, we also have to be careful Because you go and create some people, you turn them into heroes, they will turn around and become monsters against you. The other point made in that statement is the attempt by politicians to think that they can take editorial decisions for media houses. No, that in itself is an erosion of the independence of the media. You don't tell an editor or a media house, I want my story to appear on social day. This is how I want you to treat my story. Please use my material tomorrow. No, you don't do that. We are gatekeepers. I mean, as chairman editorial board, you don't come and tell me you want your article to appear tomorrow. You don't tell me. I decide how I want to do my job as a gatekeeper. And whoever you are, you don't dictate, because the owner of the business himself does not dictate. So it's good that, this NRI's group, the group is insisting on professionalism and also the right of reply of the other party, which is another thing that starts out strong there. If you feel aggrieved, then say your own side of the story. The platform is available for everybody. And the painful part, just to end on that note, is that the people who are trying to bully the media, they are themselves persons who have been in the struggle, who have defended press freedom. So why is it that they have changed all of a sudden? Because it's like, kicking their own pedigree, their own antecedents, down the road, just to please a politician. This is a dilemma that many journalists face. But I think it's important that Rice Group and this day, have both restated the principles. Those principles must be re-established, must be re-emphasized, and those issues are in the public domain for the public to decide. But the big takeaway is that anybody who wants to be president of this country must be prepared to answer questions, must be subjected to scrutiny. We cannot have, somebody who just say, oh, you can't ask me questions. No, that will amount to dictatorship, and it will be utterly presumptuous. And all spokespersons should know that they cannot adopt the tactics of the military. After all, what is the gain in this dispensation since the return to civilian rule in 1999?
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have been educated with this video. I hope you have learned something from the video you just watched. Please go to the comment section and put down your comments. Whatever you think about the video you have watched, or anything you have learned that you wanted to share together, go to the comment section and keep yourself busy. It's a free place where people share their opinion. And please, if you have not subscribed to this channel, kindly subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell so that you'll be notified each time a video comes out. And also, share the video to your family and friends. Share it to all platforms so that people can get aware of what is happening in the world, mainly in the contraption called Nigeria. We have to keep people on their toe, keep people informed on what is going on. That is exactly what we are doing. Every video you are watching in this channel is for the purpose of education and nothing more. Thank you so much for watching, and remember blessed. Bye-bye. See you again.